we go. Hi. Um, so we have we are on week 6, and I'm going to start looking at your writing assignment 3s and get those back to you. I hope you're finding the discussion forums helpful, my feedback helpful, just reminding you to put the track changes on the Word document. Also, Word offers a lot of great resources for APA. They have a references tab that is really useful, so that if you want to double check your in-text citation or how to create the reference for it in your references page, there's a tab for that, and you can even move it from MLA to APA. It's a really great resource. So in your Word document, there should be up above at the top a references tab. So you can click that, select APA, work on that with your information, your sourcing. Let's see, just some things I've been looking at as I've been going through last week. So using details, this is something I noticed in the writing assignment 2, is using details to support your evidence. So if you're talking about the importance of being a strong communicator, that means so many different things to so many different people. So what are you talking about when you're mentioning it's important to be a strong communicator? Does that mean having active listening skills? Does that mean asking questions so that your staff can see that you're engaged? What does that mean? So offering those specific details so that your audience doesn't have to fill in those gaps on their own, that you're actually providing all the information step by step, so the reader, the audience, doesn't have to guess what you're talking about, because then it's no longer effective writing if you're allowing your reader to fill in the gaps on their own. Effective writing means you are providing all the information, you're clearly and concisely filling every gap for them so that they know exactly what to do or how to understand your perspective after they're done reading your paper. Oop, gosh, my video's, sorry. Okay, so using specific details is really key because you want to fill in those gaps for your audience. Knowing your audience and how to incorporate them in your writing is really important. So just keeping that in mind. If your audience is fellow coworkers, okay, what do they know about exercising? How can you pull them into your paper so that you're speaking to them and not just speaking to a general population, right? We're trying to pull away from that informational pamphlet type talk, like here are the do's and don'ts of daily exercise, or these are the do's and don'ts of using a stand-up desk. We can Google that. I can't Google your mind or your perspective, so being able to engage your audience, whoever that is, and saying, okay, here's how I see, here's my perspective, and I need to figure out how to connect with you and to speak to you by using specific details, saying like, okay, if my audience is my coworkers and I'm trying to get them to start a walking club, I'm going to say, hey, if it's a group of ladies, right, you're channeling your audience. Hey, ladies, I really feel like I'm extremely lethargic around 2 o'clock. We come back from lunch. We have to see our next set of patients. I really need to feel motivated, and I need accountability, right? That's like your intro paragraph. You're hooking them in, and you're also speaking to them, right? Then I can look at your audience analysis, see who your audience is, read your intro and be like, oh, wow, look how this person's trying to pull their audience in and connect with them, right? And so then thinking about, okay, so this is my audience, this group of women, how am I going to show them my perspective so that they understand it, right? Am I going to get all technical and maybe journalistic and super academic? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Who's your audience? Like, how do they want to be presented with new information? Do they want the latest, Psychology Today journal, or do they need maybe different companies that they can connect with and say, hey, the doctor's office down in Tiger, we've all talked about them. This is what they do, and I really would like to incorporate it. Again, it's another way that you're using specific information and connecting your audience to your paper so that you're effectively conveying your perspective based on your audience. Like, that's our goal. Okay, enough for that. So, still on audience, thinking about, for your next writing assignment 4, your opposition, okay? What is their main concern, and how can you address it by speaking to them? You're not talking to me. I'm reading it, but I'm reading it in like a third-party perspective where I'm looking at your goal, your thesis, and looking at your audience and seeing how that relationship is connecting based on your paper. I'm out of it. I'm just working on how to help you actively and clearly convey your perspective to your audience. So my personal opinion, what I believe on the topic is completely irrelevant. I just want you to be the most effective writer you can be to your audience. So let's stick with my group of ladies at the doctor's office. So if maybe their major concern is, what would be a major concern they might have? Maybe they're worried that management's not going to get on board, or, they tried to do this before and it failed, right? So saying, hey, we can make this happen. We just need to come up with a detailed plan, ask our manager or, the doctor to sit down and have a formal, 15-minute meeting at the end of the day, have all of our information, give the studies, give him the backing, him or she, the backing that they need to feel comfortable, confident about this decision being, transformed. Okay, so you're addressing one of your main audience's concern. If it was, starting a walking club and saying like, some people are at different exercise levels, and that makes them super nervous. If it's a bigger company, you could say, hey, we're going to have like a faster pace group and a startup group. And there's no judgment on which group we're in. You just, depending on the day, you might be really kind of tired and you want to take it easy, or maybe you didn't get a workout and so you want to be super fast paced. We can have 2 different interval groups, for 15 minutes. Something just really simple just to get the ball going, and to know that you can always revise this exercise plan with your group. You guys can check in once a month or once a quarter and say, hey, how do we want to switch this up? Like, there's so many ways that you can address your audience and their concerns using details and specific information. Okay, let's see. So when thinking about your thesis, right, we want to keep working on this thesis statement. What's your goal? If you're just saying exercise is super helpful, okay, great, but how does that relate to your audience? Like, what is your end goal? Is it that you start a walking club? Okay, great, but why? Why do you want to start a walking club? Because, of the health benefits, and it's, or is it more like you just know that you're going to be effective employees by the end of the day because you had like a jolt of energy because you did this 10-minute exercise? There needs to be a specific reason behind your idea, and it has to be personal based on your perspective, because you are the professional. And so it's your perspective, and it needs to be conveyed in just, hey, exercise is important. Like, great, I think that too, except why I believe it's important and why you believe it's important based on the audience that you are targeting. That is what creates a thesis. So keeping that in mind, the why, what's the goal and why is it important, should be included in your thesis statement. Okay, and let's see. APA reference, no, we already went through that. So just remember to keep, this is the hardest part, is keeping your audience in mind. But since that is your target, you are solely speaking to that group and finding a way to connect to them so that they see your perspective. And if you feel like maybe you're not hitting that, or you're not speaking to them in your paper, let's chat. Doesn't take very long, 5 minutes. Say, I just want to make sure, like, you can send me what you have and we can chat for a few minutes. You can say, am I talking to my audience? Do I even address them? Do I offer anything that shows I'm talking to my audience and not to just any group, or does this sound like I'm talking to my boss, or does this sound like I'm talking to my peers? Is there any difference? And if there isn't, well, there should be. So I need to find some more specific, detailed information to connect with them. So that's what I have for today, this week. Week 6 is open. Good luck. If you have any questions about writing assignment 4, I have some examples up there. Feel free to email me, connect with me. I think I'm going to, for week 7, I'm going to set up some Zoom time so we can do like quick little check-ins to see how your outline's coming along for your final writing assignment. So stay tuned for that as you work through week 6. I'll have it posted up for week 7. Okay, well, have a great rest of your day.